Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you an image editing project using Pixlr that will help you practice image editing, including red, green, and blue, color balancing, what pixels are, how to make things transparent, maybe some background removal. And I recommend that you follow along. So go ahead and get out your browser, go to this website, pixlr.com, and follow along. I'll pause every once in a while, and you can pause this video if you need to catch up. So when you get here, you are going to choose the Advanced Photo Editor. That's Pixlr E. Sometimes they change this website and it looks different, but Pixlr E is the one that you want. Pixlr X does a different kind of editing. It's more like designing brochures. So stick to Pixlr E, click on that, and you will get to this splash page. And you have a bunch of options for starting something new. What will be really helpful for you for this is to use Pixlr's built-in image importer. You can always import your own image or go and download something that you want on your own, but Pixlr has this amazing website, tab, feature is the word I'm looking for, where you can go and just type for what you want. So what we're making today is a zoo. So pick your favorite zoo animal. Mine's a giraffe. And then pick your favorite giraffe image. And it would be great if you could pick one that has the full animal. What about giraffes? Is that better? No, how about giraffe? I'm gonna go with this one. And then it's going to ask you to resize your image because you probably don't want to work with 6,000 pixels at once. That's too many. You're going to slow down your computer. Full HD is plenty. Go ahead and click apply. Okay, if you're not here, pause the video and get here. All right, so now we have our image of our giraffe in here. And as a reminder, all images are made of pixels. So you could zoom in here, and go ahead and do that, on a part of your animal and make sure that you can see the pixels. And I want to show you something nifty. So click on the arrow tool on the left-hand side. It's actually arrange. And then go and click on the circle down here that shows the primary color that you would edit with. Go ahead and click on that. It's called the color picker. And when you do this, Pixlr gives you a dropper tool, there it is, that's going to show you and allow you to choose the color that's from the image. So, for example, if I click here right on the tip of this giraffe's nose, I get this super deep red, actually. It looks mostly red. I can see the color here, and I can also see the HSV values, the color, the saturation, the brightness, and the RGB values. So I know that this color is 20, 14, and 16. Okay, so I want to write that down. Okay, so here's my pen, and you pick a pixel too that you can remember the color of, and write down the colors. So red, 20, green, 14, blue, 16. If you're not with me, pause the video and write down your pixels. Okay, so I'm going to click OK because I don't actually want to paint yet. Click OK, and we are going to apply a color balance to this image. So go up to Adjustment and scroll down to Color Balance. And the Color Balance adjustment allows us to change the amount of red, green, and blue in our pixels of our image. So if I make it, let's say the midtone's really red, you can see looks maybe like, sunset. I can also take away some green if I wanted to do that. So this is what's known as color balancing, making it look more natural, or maybe you don't want it to look natural, maybe you want it to look real weird, okay? I don't care what color balance you choose. Just choose something, note what you do, right? So I really like the color blue. So I'm gonna leave a lot of blue, and I'm gonna go ahead and take out the greens and the reds. By default, this is in the midtones. There's also the option for shadows and highlights. So what does this mean? The midtones, the shadows, and the highlights are breaking up your image into the brightest, the middle, and the darkest pixels. So the shadows in here in this tree, those we could make now quite red. Notice that that tree suddenly became red. Or the highlights, the lightest part of the image, maybe the giraffe, the white part of the giraffe. Maybe we'll take that down. So you can mess with that and see what that looks like. And just pick a new one, a new adjustment. And I'm going to stick with 1 here in the midtones. Okay? No, low red, low green, high blue. And I'm going to click apply. Pause your video if you're not here. And next, I'm going to zoom into the giraffe's nose again. And I'm going to click on my arrange arrow up here. I'm going to click on my color circle here to get my color picker back. I'm going to click now, again, in this dark part of the nose of the giraffe. And look at the color that I have now. Before I had red 20, green 14, and blue 16. It looks like the red is higher. Makes sense. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense because I took the red out. Okay, so let's think about that for a second. The green is a little higher. That's weird. And the blue, which was 16, is now 60, which makes sense, right? We added a lot of blue, and we took out a lot of green and red. Okay, so what's happening here is that the colors are adjusting to filter, to balance the darkness and the lightness so that it stays about the same dark and light level. So I added a bunch of blue, and to keep my color balance about the same, my red and green, even though I tried to take them out, they went up just a little bit. This part's a little detailed and tedious, so don't worry too much about it. The key point here is that when we shift a color, when we shift the color of our image because of a color balance algorithm, we are changing the RGB values, or the hue, saturation, and brightness values of each pixel in our image. Okay, so we're going to export this. So go up to File, Export, Quick Export Page as PNG, and then you're going to save it. Well, it's saved already. And I'm going to put mine real quick on my Google Slides here so that we can see the exported image. So there it is. And you go ahead and do that and save it as well. And when you're ready, come back, and we are going to get rid of the background of this giraffe. So go up to Layer and choose AI Auto Mask. And fancy AI Auto Mask is going to keep just your animal and get rid of the background. So mine worked perfectly. Okay, yours might not work perfectly depending on your background, depending on how many animals you have in the image. So you might need to go in here and make some adjustments. Maybe you need to use the eraser tool. Anybody see the eraser tool? Here it is. Okay, right above fill. You might need to click on the eraser tool. There it is. And come in here and clean this up. Mine looks great, so I don't need to do that. Oh, maybe down here's a little. Nope, that's still giraffe. Okay, so mine's good, so I'm good. You can clean this up with an eraser around the edges, and you can do that by changing the brush size if necessary. You can make it bigger, smaller, softer, which is how fuzzy the edges are. All right, and when you're done with that, go back up to File and Export. Again, save the page as a PNG, and I'll open up, here it is. Right, so here is my second export, and let's add that here so you can see the difference. Aha! So now I can put this very blue giraffe into the Hayden Library on Arizona State University's campus. This works best if you're doing this in a group, and then you can put all of your animals all together in one new spot. So you can see these wacky colored animals all together in your own red, green, and blue zoo.